G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, it's a beautiful morning at the moment. They're forecasting a bit of rain later on. And I've got my little Git camera out. I've been playing around with that lately. Been thinking about doing a few road videos. So I'm just going out to shoot a bit of footage just to get used to using it again. We'll go up the old Windy Point Road up to Blair just for a bit of a spin, and you can see how the Subaru XV handles hills, and you know how it goes. I don't think it's got any power issues at all, really. Quite a few reviewers said, oh, yeah, it wants a bit more power, but not really. I think they're I mean, it's not a sports car, it's an SUV, and power-wise it's not much different to all the other offerings, really. You know, I think it's quite okay. In fact, it's got 115 kilowatts. And when you consider that my Mazda 626 I had, which was also 2 litre, only had 65 kilowatts, I mean, yeah, you know, and that would do well over 100 mile an hour, and this will do 120, they reckon, so that's more than fast enough for me anyway. And yeah, we're pulling up this hill here, 60 kilometre speed limit, and it's 1200 RPM, no effort whatsoever. I actually don't mind the CVT. I was a bit dubious about it to begin with, but it's good because you can drive it as an automatic, or you can drive it in manual mode, and you've got paddle shifters that you can change the gears, you know, as you want to. Well, they make believe gears anyway. And the other beauty of it is that when you're going downhill, you can just use the paddle shifters temporarily, just to drop it into a lower gear and save the brakes. So you don't actually have to be in manual mode to use the paddle shifters. You can just flick on the downshift and it will just pull up on engine braking, and yeah, it works well. It revs the engine, but doesn't really hurt it. Should be okay. That's how you drive trucks, you know, use the engine brakes and save your brake pads. Anyway, it's certainly a nice morning, for the moment anyway. Yeah. This engine stop-start, the engine just shut off, and I'm just sitting here saving gas at the moment. So you lift off your foot off the brake and she starts, and we're off to go. That didn't stay green very long. We're following a couple of trucks by the look of it. I'll give them a bit of breathing space. I can never figure out why people drive up, you know, people's asses tailgate vehicles. It's just so bloody ridiculous, but you do get it, you know, quite a bit of it, and some people just got no brains, really. This is quite a good sprint up through here on the motorbike. It's a nice twisty road, and it looks like someone's lost their load of paint here on the road. It's all spilled. Goodness, what a mess. Yeah, we used to, before they put the 60k limit on it, we used to wind up through here on the motorbikes. It was good fun, but now you've got to be a responsible citizen and do the right thing. So here we're sort of heading into winter in South Australia. It's a dry state really. We don't get a lot of rain, but we don't get any snow or any of that stuff, which is good because I really don't like snow and I hate the cold. And yeah, it's a nice place to live, you know. Very clean, extremely clean. You don't see any litter anywhere. People are very conscious about litter. It's like Japan, you know, same thing there. Very, very clean, tidy state, no country. When I was a kid, we used to just throw the stuff out the window of the car. Nobody thought anything about it. But now, everybody's litter conscious, and it's yeah, it's a big taboo. You don't do things like that. Keep the place neat and tidy for everyone. Oh, he's turning off. And koalas for the next so many kilometres. Got a bit of open road. We'll get her up a bit of speed. Oh, we're still only doing the speed limit, so we'll be good. But yeah, it's nice and green at the moment. Because in summer, you know, it dries out pretty well here. Yeah, the Subi really hangs on the road nicely. It's got fantastic handling and grip. It's really good. There's no doubt about it, the four-wheel drive is a good asset. It gives you more confidence on the road, grips like a leech, and of course on the loose stuff it's brilliant. Same with corrugations. If you hit corrugations, no effect. Whereas before with rear-wheel drive car like the Ute, she'd start dancing around over the road. Not with the Subi, it just goes over like it's just not there. It's quite amazing, really. And then, of course, the grip. You know, you get on slippery stuff. Well, what slippery stuff? Not a problem. Just go straight through it. No problem. And it's full-time four-wheel drive, not this on-demand stuff, which, of course, only comes on when you're already in the shit. So you can turn it on earlier, but you don't have to worry about it. With a Subi, everything's going all the time, and I'm getting 40 miles to gallon out of it. 7.1 litres per 100 kilometres is what it's been doing for the last 600 odd so kilometres. So that's pretty good. The combined total was supposed to be 7, so 7.1's pretty close. Oh, a bit of traffic here. How do we go now? Another one. Yeah, we're good to go. So I'll just go back down the old, this old road here. I forget what they call this, but we'll use engine braking to save the brakes. So I'm just using the paddle shifters now, and it's just holding it back nicely. Get a bit closer, I'll give it a bit more speed. So yeah, they're all riding their brakes. I haven't touched my brakes yet. I will now. So they're still riding their brakes. Not me. Not necessary. It is. You can hear me clicking through the paddle shifters. I'll give it a bit of gas now. I'll put the brakes on here. They're all slamming them on. So yeah, it's, you know, it's a good gearbox. I'm quite impressed with it. Very little lag or rubber band effect, you know. I believe as the CVTs go, it's probably one of the best ones around, you know. See, I'm not using the brakes at all. See, they've all got their brakes on. Smoke 'em, baby. You see them coming down the highway and they're just riding them the whole bloody way down. So, you know, as I said, you don't have to be in manual mode to do this. You can just leave it in. I better put the brakes on here. We're getting a bit close. Some people say, oh, you know, it's going to wear your engine out, but not really. Trucks are all driven this way, you know, and those things do millions of miles. It's not going to hurt your motor. If anything, it'll actually help cool it down a bit, you know, because the engine's not consuming any fuel or doing any work. This thing has got tremendous brakes. I've got to say they're pretty damn good. There's certainly plenty of Subarus in Adelaide. There you go, there's one ahead of me. They're very popular. We'll go this way, I think. Yeah, I can't really complain about this thing at all. The only thing that I wasn't happy with to begin with was I couldn't get the seat comfortable. It used to give me a sore butt. But the trick is the seats on these, on the low setting, are angled down on quite an angle, and you sort of slide into the joint of the squab in the back. So if you jack them up a bit, it makes it easier to get in and out, it also levels the seat off and you don't get a sore bum. Yeah, it's really comfortable now. So you've got to play around with the seating to get the angle how you want it, but that's the trick. Jack it up and you will find that you won't sort of have that effect, that problem. Took me a little while to figure it out, but oh well, we got there in the end. But actually it's very quiet driven normally, you know. I mean, under engine braking you can hear a rev there, of course that's always going to happen. But driving around town, I mean, here it is, it's pulling 1100 RPM at 50 kilometres an hour. Pretty quiet. Millions of trees in Adelaide. I've been to all the capital cities in Australia, and Adelaide would have to be the greenest city as far as trees go I've seen. I mean, it's absolutely covered with them. They're everywhere. It's a good thing, you know, so it's very, very green. This road here on the left, I'll go down this road on the left. The other day, no bullshit, I went down this road, and I mean, we get kangaroos up in the area I just drove through. You see kangaroos up there, you know, no problem. I was driving down this road and a bloody huge full-grown kangaroo went hopping across the road in front of me, and we're right in suburbia here. So I can only think it came down the train line. There's a train line here, and yeah, we'll let these people go. Yeah, I was stopped at the stop sign here, waiting for a train to come, goods train to come through. The next thing, this kangaroo just went hopping across the road in front of me. Unreal. It was a big one. He was a full grown. He would have been 6 foot easy. You don't want to get too close to those buggers. They can do some damage, I tell you. The males can get very aggressive, and I had a next door neighbour and his brother, who was a roost shooter, shot one night, went up to get it to load on the back of the ute, and it wasn't, and raked its back legs down his stomach and ripped his stomach open, and he had to go to hospital and have a humongous amount of stitches and surgery. So that's what they do. They grab you with their forearms, their little arms, and then they just rake their big legs back down and rip you open. And while they're doing that, they balance on their tail. So they're not the super friendly critters you think they might be, you know. They can be quite aggressive at certain times of the year, and the females aren't so bad, but the males are something to watch out, particularly when they get older. Yeah, they don't make good pets when they're when they're big. When they're young, they're cute and cuddly. When they're big, they can be, yeah, pretty aggressive at times. But that's just the good stuff we've got here. Then we got the really nasty stuff. The poisonous snakes and toads and fish and all that, which gets beaten up to hell in the press. We've got them, but no one worries about them because you know what to watch out for, the spiders and all that stuff. I don't think anybody's ever died from a spider bite in Australia, but they do make you pretty crook. And but certainly snakes, yeah, I think we've got the deadliest snakes in the world, and we've got lots of them, so you've always got to be wary, you know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little bit of a spin, bit of a ramble, and yeah, we'll head back home. See you next time. Cheers.